Hey, welcome to the Hell Has an Exit podcast. I'm your host, Brian Alzate. This show is not affiliated with any specific 12-step program. If you or a loved one is struggling with an addiction, please find a local 12-step meeting. If you believe you may need detox or drug treatment of any kind, please call 888-699-9395 to speak to a specialist. The show is sponsored by United Recovery Project, a state-of-the-art drug and alcohol rehab facility. You can visit our website at unitedrecoveryproject.com. All right, welcome to Hell Has an Exit. I'm your host, Brian Alzate. I have nephew here, my good friend Ryan Owak. What's up, Ryan? How you doing?
What's up, Brian? Thanks for having me here.
So I think we've known each other like
10 years.
10 years probably, right?
Yeah,
maybe a little more than 10 years.
Yeah. You were my first sponsor. Or not my first, probably like my second sponsor. Back when you had 2 years clean.
Yeah.
I remember that. You were such a good, well-behaved.
Yeah, I was pretty well behaved back then.
You were.
A lot quieter. So, you got an interesting story. Obviously, your affiliation with Bang. And honestly, just seeing you get clean. Like, I just had seen you in and out for so long, bro. Years and years. And I would see you at the work release programs. You had on all the treatment centers. And, bro, I remember, just telling you, like, yeah, bro, I'll sponsor you, but you can't get tattoos for 30 days and you can't buy shoes or something like that. And you'd be like, oh, nah, bro, you're crazy,
Too strict.
Too strict. You're nuts. Can't buy sneakers.
Yeah, what are you, nuts? No girls, no tattoos, no sneakers.
For how long? What? That doesn't have anything to do with recovery.
Yeah. That's the whole point of getting clean, right?
Honestly, bro, like just seeing you the past 2 years stay clean and do the right thing and get involved in step work and going to meetings, I've seen the big difference. So I guess if you want to just dive into your story, like we're pretty much from the same town. Grew up in Davie, you grew up in Cooper City. So if you just want to talk about like how growing up was like and take it from there.
How the drugs are really big. They think like, oh, the drugs are only in the hood. No, the drugs are heavy in Davie, in Cooper City. I mean, there's a lot of money, a lot of drugs going around, a lot of people using. So yeah, I grew up in Cooper City, good family. I really have no excuse. I wasn't really molested. I didn't have a bad childhood, wasn't abused. I could say my first addiction was really sports at a young age. I love sports. I was addicted outside every day, never really was inside, was outside every day playing sports. The next addiction was money. I was about 15. And, the smoking weed, the drinking, the Xanax, and then I started selling weed. I loved it, that fast money and selling weed. And so I did that for a little while.
Did you stop playing sports at 15 or you kept playing?
I kept playing. Listen to this. I'm going to tell you a funny story. So I was a star athlete at Cooper City High. And, I was really popular, so I used that kind of to my advantage to sell drugs. I knew everyone. I was cool with everyone, from the nerds to the punk rock to, I got along with everyone. I'd always treated everyone nicely. And so, I was real popular and, I was cool with everyone, so I used that to my advantage. And I remember being out on the football field on Friday night, back there to receive a kick, punt return. And I remember people in the stands hitting me up like, when are you going to be finished? I need an eighth. I need an ounce. I need a half ounce in the stands, and I'm like, I got you. Just wait. I'm almost done with the game, bro. I remember, and I'm like, damn, I wanted to finish this game just so I could go serve this dude up, I loved it. I loved that lifestyle, that fast life and quick money. So yeah, I got involved in, selling drugs, smoking weed, stopped playing sports.
What'd your family do? Like did they realize you were smoking weed and try to stop you at any point?
Oh yeah. My mom, they found weed. I had another cell phone. They found the other cell phones, my little burner. Back then they would trip out. Oh, what is all this weed? He's selling weed, but they couldn't really stop me. You know what I mean? When we're young, they can't. They try, but So I remember I'm going to tell you a little funny story. Not really funny, but so I was getting high and drinking Xanax, about 17, and I blacked out on Xanax, and I brought a girl home. She lived in the neighborhood, and supposedly, we had sex for a couple hours. It was great. she needed a ride home, but I couldn't find the keys to my car, so I took my dad. My dad he just bought this brand new Acura TL. He loved it, you know.
That was a hard car, bro.
Acura
The
TL,
Acura
yeah,
TL
back
was
in
tough.
2005, yeah. So I grabbed the car and I grabbed the keys to his car, you know, and I can't drive this, never. Well, I mean, the TL, no way, you know. So I grabbed his TL, I dropped the girl off. Now I live on a cul-de-sac, you know, Griffin Road, there's a canal there. So as I'm making a left, I made a left down my street and I'm driving. I fell asleep at the wheel, probably going about 30 miles an hour,
Wow.
maybe more. I woke up to hitting a palm tree in my front yard and I was airborne. Boom, right into the side of my house. Car smoking. I thought the car was going to blow up. I didn't know what was going on. I was freaking out. I try to get out the driver's side door. It's jammed. I can't get out. I crawl out the side. The airbags are out. I crawl out the side of the passenger door. My dad's standing right there like, what the fuck, you know? I throw him the keys. I went inside. I went to bed.
Wow. What?
My dad couldn't believe it. He's like, bro, this is my son, you know? Because my dad was a little wild too when he was younger. He's like, he just couldn't fucking believe it. You know, he's real easygoing. He just couldn't believe
Who's
it.
the enforcer in your family? Your mom?
Really didn't have too much of an enforcer,
Really?
you
Wow.
know? So-
Like, I know for me, like, my mom was she was easier, but like my dad would break furniture and flip out. I crashed his car too.
my mom was really tough, like I'd say, you know, verbally, probably the, you know.
But your dad was pretty laid
Yeah,
back.
very laid back,
Wow.
extremely, yeah. So I threw him the keys to his car. I went and fell asleep. I woke up the next day thinking it's a bad dream. You know, I thought I had little bits and pieces. I'm like, no way did that just happen. I'm like, oh, I'm going to call this girl. We're going to go to the beach. You know, it's going to be a good day. I go out and I see this is like a brick house and it's like indented. The whole landscape in the front yard just done. His he pulled his car to the side, you know, and he had a little insurance claim that he did it. But yeah, that was a wild story, man. Not a scratch on me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So,
It progressed.
oh, it progressed. Yeah, it progressed bad. So, selling drugs, continued to do that. At 19, I caught my first trafficking cocaine charge. I was high and supposed to meet someone, and it was a setup. It was a sting operation, and they caught me with a couple ounces. Went to jail. Got out of jail, and they court ordered me as a YO sentence. They court ordered me to a treatment center, my first treatment center. I thought I was a cult, you know, this whole AA, you know, they're bringing me to meetings. What is this? You
Corny.
know, what is this? Yeah, come on, these guys, older guys drinking coffee. This is crazy. Read these 12 steps off the wall. You're gonna get. I mean, I thought these guys were crazy. I thought they were out of their mind. And so I got out of that treatment center, was in a halfway, drank right away because alcohol is not a drug, right? You know, I ended up violating. I was on house arrest too. I ended up violating and going to jail and doing another 6 months in the Conti facility. First time like doing a real like little stint in jail. And they had an ATEC program. It was a 90-day ATEC program back then. It was like a 90-day SAP. It was SAP,
SAP.
but 90 days back then. You know, and this was in 2008. Got introduced to meetings every night, you know, and then like I started really hearing it, and you know these dudes in there that I thought were kind of cool, they were like taking it serious, and I was like, oh, maybe this stuff, maybe it does work, you know. Got out and tried it, but ended up, you know, going back to the same lifestyle. And around that time, the whole OxyContin pill mill was at its peak, you know, 2008 when I got out, 2009. I think around then I tried my first blue. I believe it was like 2008. Yeah, I was hooked. I was hooked on those blues and doctor shopping, sponsoring people, taking girls there, taking their whole scripts, coming home, pouring out M's, V's, A's, just piles and piles, you know, and just selling them, eating them, selling them, eating them, snorting them, whatever, smoking them, you know. And then it progressed, you know. I was, again, selling coke, selling this, selling that. I love that lifestyle.
Were you doing coke too?
Yeah. Cocaine was always. I'm more of like a speedballer. Like I love
Both. Yeah.
both.
Me
You know,
too.
I do coke and drink, or I do coke and blues, or coke and Suboxone, crack and Suboxone, Xanax and this, heroin and crack, meth and crack. I mean, it was always
Uppers and downs.
uppers and downers. Had to have been. I can't get all geeked up without having
Landing
something
gear.
to kind of keep me, you know, cool. So yeah, they did that, and yeah, it progressed. You know, I ended up back in the treatment center.
What was going on with your family at the time?
They were upset. They were disappointed. Like I said, I was a star athlete. You know, grades weren't that bad. You know, they were real disappointed. You know, they thought I was gonna go to college, play college football, this and that. You know, didn't work that way. You know, I guess God had a different path for me to take. I'm kind of stubborn. You know, learn the hard way, and even getting knocked down 100 times, still, you know, it took 101 times for me to kind of realize, like, listen, it's time to surrender. You know, so yeah, I ended up back in treatment, back in jail, violating. I mean, when I tell you like 10 years, it was Baker Acts, jail, rehab, detox, homeless, halfway house, jail, homeless, probation, community control, pretrial, drug court, homeless, jail. I mean, it was disgusting. I don't wish that kind of life on anyone, you know, for a while, you know. And like I said, I'd see you all the time. You'd be like, Ryan, you just got to do this, this, and that, you know. You just got to give this up. You got to give this. You got to stop doing this. And I'll be like, damn, you know, I want what Brian has. I want to be like Brian. I mean, I was like, man, remember I'd run up to you and I'd be,
All
you
the
know,
time, bro. Whenever I would see you, like, yo, Brian, like, why can't I stay clean?
Yeah.
What's going on? You're like so desperate for help.
Yeah.
And then as soon as like someone suggests something to do, you'd be like, oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. I was like, run right up to you, Brian, help
Bro,
me,
it'd be like
bro.
immediately you got
Yeah.
a girlfriend,
Yeah.
something's going on,
Yeah.
you know, you're on social media going ham doing something, and I'll just be like, bro, you just gotta go slow, like easy does it. Don't rush into anything, bro. Stay away from girls for a while. And you'd be like you were hoping that I was gonna tell you something different one day, you know, like some secret thing.
I know. I was like, what is the secret, Brian? Tell me, you know? Jeez. And you'd be like, no girls. And I'm like, fuck, okay. Next thing you know, the next day at IRT, I'm hooking up with a girl in the laundry room, you know? I couldn't help it. I mean, I was just like, maybe I could do this, you know? Maybe there's a way around it. Maybe 90%, you know, what Brian says. I could still hold on that 10%. And that never worked out, ever. Until I finally said, listen, Brian, no tattoos, no girls, no this, no that.
And it wasn't even for that long. It's just a test to see if you're able to surrender to that. You know?
I surrendered to you, to the program.
Yeah, I
and to
remember
what you had
like
to
one
say.
day, you were clean for a while and you were like, bro, I'll do whatever. And I was just like, no shoes? You're like, I don't care about shoes. I was like, no girls? You're like, I don't give a fuck. I'll do whatever. Like, that's really when I knew that you're willing to do whatever it takes. And it's not really even about the buying the shoes or whatever. It's like, are you willing to not buy them? If someone asked you to, you know, are you able to be obedient for a second and just listen to somebody? And that's kind of the relationship with a sponsor that you have to really say that they're your sponsor. Because if you have a sponsor, you're not listening to what they do, it's not your sponsor, bro. That's just some guy you have as a name, you know, a sponsor by name. So tell me more like what happened in those 10 years.
Oh, man. The worst neighborhoods, getting high all night in the streets, sleeping outside, sleeping behind abandoned buildings, robbing drug dealers, not caring to die. Like, not caring. They were scared of me. And these are killers in vicious neighborhoods here in South Florida. I mean, vicious.
Were you more in Miami or more in Broward?
More in Broward. I mean, every single hood in Broward, and trust me, there's some very messed up hoods in Broward. It was, Miami-Dade. No. Listen, Broward is very bad. Dade County as well. You know, I ran in Little Haiti, ran in Overtown, Little River. You know, it's definitely very Homestead, very, very vicious down there, you know. Lucy Street, you know. But, I mean, I'm telling you, from Tatertown to Melrose Park to Deep Side, Shallow Side, Carver Ranches, Liberia. I mean, I ran hard in these hoods, like hard, you know, for years. You know, I slept outside and would wake up with, you know, on a cardboard box with rain falling on my face, you know, walking around with blisters on my feet, you know, just not caring. Whatever I had to do, like I would do whatever, you know. I would rob, I would sell girls, I would go try and walk with the prostitutes to protect them so they make their money, and then I'd take a little piece, or I mean whatever. I mean, I've even robbed, like I've robbed some people that, like, on the street that were helpless, and I feel terrible about that, you know. I was just so vicious, you know. I didn't care. I'd rob it. I don't care who you are. Biggest dope boy killer. I don't care. You know, I'm ready to rob you, and I tried to a few times, and they almost killed me. One time they told me, bring him to the back, you know, bring him to the back with a big knife. About to kill me, I swear. His name was 4-5. Was a straight killer. over there in Tatertown. A week later, he killed someone out front of his house with a 45.
Wow.
Yeah, but he almost killed me, and I begged for my life. Please, I'm sorry, never come back around here again, white boy. Get from around here. And then I'd be in hoods where they'd be like, white boy, you need to get from around here. You're heating up the block. You're heating up the spot. You know what I mean? Like, you've been here for 3-4 days straight. Like running around, and the police are like, listen, what do you want us to take you to Bark right now? Like, you obviously need help, And I don't know. I just kept going, and BSO definitely helped save my life, a bunch of, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, they definitely did put the drug court, the judges, they definitely saved my life, rehabs, Bark, private treatment centers. I mean, they saved my life, even Baker Acts, I've, hospitals. It's definitely a big part of my story, because without those places and, getting involved and stopping me, I might not have been here right now speaking to you,
And what was going on with like your uncle and his business? Like,
oh man,
what was your uncle like during this whole time? Because he's got to be like a super committed, and I know he's like crazy Christian guy.
Yeah, I mean, he would pray for me. He would always tell me, listen, he had his issues. My father, they all had their issues in the past, and they said, listen, it's God. God's the only one that's going to save you, and all that. That's good. That's good to have, but ultimately it's God, So that's what he would preach to me always, And I remember being even just not a good nephew to him, I remember stealing the, where there's like, where's work van number 7? It's Friday night. It's 9:00 and the van's not back yet. And I'm smoking crack at the Hard Rock, gambling, going inside, driving around 2, 3, 4 in the morning on 441, with a big red line van standing out, cops that know my uncle, they're following, they're like, what is this? What's going on? Sleeping in the van, just stealing the van, selling all the product out the van.
So, like people that are listening might not know. So like, how did your uncle go from selling, how did he start in the supplement industry,
He was a science teacher. He decided one day, him and my father actually helped him start the business, VPX, which is Bang, Redline. Back in the day, my father and him got into business, and, they started making products, and, he had a little supplement store. He slept out of his supplement store. He stopped teaching and, just tried to make it big with the American dream. And, it was tough. My father would bring me there as a kid, and I wouldn't understand why my uncle's sleeping out, in his supplement store. But, me, him, my cousin, and another guy, we would package the stuff up. We would zip seal it. We would, make sure everything was good, and we'd sell it. But yeah, he came a long way, and he gave me a lot of opportunity at a young age. 19, threw me in a sales pit with grown men, making good money. They taught me a lot. They taught me a lot how to sell and how to write emails, how to do a lot of things college can't teach you, At a very young age, he taught me. By putting me in these positions, I probably worked maybe a good 7 years total since I was a kid, since I was about 12, off and on for him.
And he just kept giving you second chances.
Yeah, I mean, well, the last time when I kind of stole the van, and it was just like,
he was like,
yeah, you know what I mean? And like, he even told me that they got it on the convenience store, caught me selling drugs out of the van. They sent in a video, one of the gas stations, they sent in a video to them. You're saying, look at this guy, he's off the chain, he's selling drugs every day outside of my convenience store,
Wow.
and in the van, in the work outfit, what is this, a front, What's wrong with this kid, But yeah, I was bad, nodding out at the wheel. I mean, just bad stuff.
When did you do your first prison bid?
So in and out of the county jails for a long time. Probably did about good 3-4 years in Conti, Main Jail, Paul Ryan, North Broward.
Now, like for
TGK.
people who aren't like from here, like
So all the Broward County jails, all the county jails I've been to, and also Miami-Dade County, TGK, Metro West. Did a little bit of time there and the detox units over there. But as far as prison, so this last time around, I got court ordered to the Village in Miami. I ended up getting high there, getting out, had a warrant for my arrest. Turned myself into Broward County, and the judge was just like, the judge was real cool, Judge Uson. Michael Uson, man, he's real cool. He's known me since I was young, and 20 years old. He's been my judge for a while. And he's just like, Ryan, listen, you know, we've given you so many chances. Like, this is your third violation. We gave you drug court. We gave you programs, whatever you asked for. Like, because I was very good at manipulating, you know, to get what I wanted. Even from the judge, I'd get people to write letters. I'd do all kinds of stuff, you know, to kind of get what I wanted. So this last time, he's like, listen, we're done with you, you know? Like, I'm sorry, but they're not budging. The prosecutors want to send you to prison. It's like, all right, well, it can't be that bad. All these, talking about this prison, it's so bad. I was like, let's see what these guys are talking about. You know what I mean? What's a good, they're going to give me 14 months prison? Well, I do 9 months? Come on, let's see what this is about, you know? Unfortunately, every time I went to jail, you know, I was detoxing or whatever, I'd tell them I had seizures. That was my thing to get gabapentin, because it helps, you know, when you're coming off drugs, or just kind of make you feel good, you know, in the county jails. And you get the bottom bunk pass, you get the phone quickly, bottom tier. So long story short, I get sent to South Florida Reception Center. All you heard from the gangbangers to the drug addicts to everyone is how bad Martin. Martin. Oh, Martin, they're swanging over there. They're killing over there. Martin is dang. Oh my God. Now I had a cellmate. His name was Murder. He was from Riviera Beach. He had Lost Soul tatted on his face, gold teeth. He was a Zo Mafia gang member. He had all the Zo Pounds, Zo Mafia, ZMF in my cell. And he was like, man, Ryan, this is my third time, dog. Hold down, send me to Martin. I mean, he was scared. I mean, at night he would tell me, like, Martin, oh my God, it's swanging. This is a killer. This is a gang member from Riviera Beach, like gangster, you know, scared of Martin. And I was like, man, that shit's bad. You know, even the gang members are scared, you know? And so they sent everyone out, and they sent me up to FSP East, New River, which is across from Death Row. They sent me there for a work camp. So all my friends were getting booked, getting ready for this work camp. And then they stopped me and they're like, sir, you can't go. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you have seizures. You can't go to work camp. I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't go to work camp. So like, yeah, you're not going to work camp. I was like, I don't have seizures. I was just lying, you know? I was just kidding. You know what I mean? Let me go to work camp with my buddies. Yeah, you know, it's such a sweet camp too. It was like a brand new camp, you know? It was such a great camp, you know? Up there in wherever it was, Rayford, Florida. So they shipped me back down to South Florida Reception Center, and you know, I had this other kid, you know, he'd be like, Ryan, they're gonna send you to Martin, they're gonna send you to Martin. I'm like, no, they're not, bro. Shut up, you know? Shut up, bro. Sure enough, they're sending people every day, you know, the Everglades, all these good camps, you know, they're getting sent to the private camps.
Now explain to people like what makes a good camp and a bad camp, you know?
So it's just some camps in Florida. There's probably, I'd say, maybe anywhere between 75 and 100 prisons in Florida, work camps, main camps. And a good camp is like you have 5 years and under, you go to work camp. You go to a sweet camp, you know, you don't have any violent charges. You go to a camp, it's not a max camp, it's a work camp or whatever, you know, or you're in a private camp where there's AC, you know. Then you got the Charlotte, the Martins, the gangland. It's called gangland, you know. It's straight killing, stabbing, gangbanging, you know. I might get in trouble for saying, hope I don't go back to Martin. I'm like, please don't go back to Martin. They ship you right back to the camp you were at, too.
Yeah. I think they got documentaries about it.
If you ever go, they did. So my buddy, the one that the whole thing came out, my buddy,
yeah, because there was like a whole
my buddy, that was my buddy, bro. He was filming it. He had a phone in there, and he put a little hole in the Bible, and he would film all the stabbings, the overdoses, the corruption, everything at Martin. And he's like, Ryan, I'm gonna sell this stuff. I mean, remember being in here, we're smoking cigarettes in there talking about this. Wow. And it got leaked. It got leaked. Right? Yeah, I can't. I was like, no way. He was telling me how he's gonna try and make money off it. He had 30 years for blues. Like he was trafficking blues. Like he caught 30 years. He's a good dude too. So anyways, long story short, they, you know, sure enough, they called my name. I said, where am I going? I said, you're going to Martin. I was the only one. You know, people were getting shipped out 10 people at a time. They sent me only one. I'm like, why? It's a mistake, sir. You know, like I had butterflies in my stomach, you know? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, I was a little nervous, bro. Of course. You know, I was a little nervous. I was like, oh man, now I'm going to have to suit up heavy. This is going to be something, you know? Sure enough, I get there. I mean, it's just, when I tell you that place is hell on earth, it's the wild, wild west. I mean, it's bad. You know, I get there and, you know, I'm smoking a cigarette in the cell with this, you know, this dude. He had 9 years. He was a gangster disciple, and he was about to get out. And he said, Ryan, we were cool. You know, he was hanging out for a couple of days, and he goes, Ryan, he goes, you know where you're at? They call this shit Murder Martin. This is the real deal, you know? This is Murder Martin is what it's called. You know, and I'm like, oh man. And he's like, you're gonna need this. He pulls out a fucking plexiglass craziest looking shank I've ever seen, you know? And it's plexiglass, so when they wand you, they can't, you know, it doesn't
ring.
It doesn't ring, you know? I'm like, holy shit, bro. I'm like, oh man. So I grabbed it and I put it up, you know? I was nervous to even have it, you know? And I mean, when I tell you, it was just, I've watched people overdose. People just overdosing and dying in there. I mean, there's more drugs in there than on the street. This dude's in there dying on the floor. And I'm like, yo, call the cops, you know? Man, we ain't calling the cops, man. It's going to heat up the pod. You know, gangbangers and the dope boys, you know? We ain't calling the police. You crazy? Let him die, you know? And I'm like, oh, man, I ain't going to let this dude die, you know? So I'm picking him up and I'm putting him on his side. He's sieging out, you know? It's called Tucci. They smoke Tucci in there. It's called twack or whatever. They twack out.
What is it?
I think it's like spice cut with like fentanyl because these dudes overdose. Wow. I mean, they hit two puffs. The dude's on the floor. Overdose and throwing up all everywhere. I mean, dying, you know? I've seen a dude fall from his top bunk onto his head. Bomb, blood everywhere. I mean, listen, when I tell you the stuff I've seen at Martin, I mean, when I tell you it's gangland, it's straight gang banging. I mean, it's a horrible camp. I mean, and listen, the cops, they're bringing in them. I found out towards the end, you know, I got cool with one of my best friends in there. His name was Los. He was a Brown Pride gang leader. He was as big as dope boy on the compound. I mean, he was solid, you know, and he, you know, he was showing me his cell phone. He was showing me flicks of the guards. He would tell me how his wife would send money to the sergeant. The sergeant would bring it in the Molly, pulling out ounces of Molly. You know, he'd have gang members lined up with knives on the stairwell. I mean, it was just a vicious camp. I remember walking by one time. So I got a good job in there because, you know, my custody was so low. I'm in a max camp. I mean, this is a dangerous camp. So I'm walking, I got a good job. They gave me the orderly job where I was bringing in the cigarettes. Now I go see the work camp. I was the only one, you know, this gangster disciple. He was a leader on the pound. He was like, Ryan, dog, you got the lick. He goes, if you move right, in prison is how you move, you know, you got to move right. You know, they just kind of teach you how you move, you know. If you move right, bro, you be the man. So long story short, bringing in the cigarettes and one day I'm walking to pass out. I was also passing out the sick calls. I go to every pod and you know, the gang members, like I'd slide drugs through, I'd pass shit, I'd sell bleach, I'd sell stuff. I'd be able to move the whole compound. The compound's like locked. They have gates so they can't get to each other. You gotta like, there's gates to get to gates. I mean, it's just like, it's so locked down max camp. And one day I'm walking and I see a dude with a piece of fence, you know, the metal fence sticking out of his neck. His neck's twitching. Dude just got hit in the back of the neck with a big piece of metal. I'm like, holy shit. Everyone hit the ground, whatever. Then another time, I'm in the rec yard, and I see a dude come up behind another dude and stab him in the fucking eyeball.
Wow.
Another time, I seen a dude, these two punks fighting over each other, stabbing each other in the rec yard, blood all over each other, fighting over their boyfriend. Another time, I'm looking in there and I see about six fucking gangster disciples run up in a dude's cell and just fucking blood everywhere, murder scene. Probably killed him. I don't know. You know, it was just every day people were stabbing. There was no fist fight. I mean, it's just stabbing. It's gangland. You know, knives everywhere. Watch people go up in other people's cells with knives and putting down on them. You know, bro, when 6 Bloods come up in your cell with knives, I don't care if you're Kimbo Slice. I don't care if you're the baddest man in the world. You're giving it up. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you are. You know. And so, you know, it's a matter of respect in there. You show respect. You know, you don't.
Did you have to join a gang?
The Aryan brothers wanted to recruit me. They liked me. You know, I got in one little fight there, stood up for myself one time. They liked me, but they wanted me to go out and have a good life. And plus I wasn't really trying to, I mean, if you got more time than I had, if you had like a couple years or more and you're at that camp, you better believe you should join a gang. Mm-hmm. I mean, otherwise, you know, you're going to be in trouble, bro.
Did people try you because they knew that you weren't in there that long?
Yeah. One dude said, listen, majority of my pod had life sentences. Don't tell people what your release date is when you're going home. You'd never say that because they don't want you to kill you, you know? But it was cool. Like I said, I was a cigarette man. So like because
they're jealous.
My whole pod, like all the dope boys, the gang members, they'd all give me $20 cash. Like they would eat cash at Vizzo, swallow it, shit it out. Wow. They would give it to me. I would go, when I go to my job, I'd have cash strapped up to me. I would go get a pack of cigarettes. Each pack is $20. The work camp would come in. They would put it up their ass. I would give them the cash. The COs are drinking Bang. All the COs are drinking Bang in there. Matter of fact, I forgot to tell you that. So listen, one time I'm back in South Florida Reception Center and the CO's drinking Bang And they're all drinking Bang. It's crazy. And I'm like, yo, that's my uncle's drink. He's like, fuck you, MA, suck my dick, you know? Get back in line. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I had this cellmate. He was this ghetto-ass kid. He's like, yeah, right, bro. My father owns Monster. You know, they didn't believe me. I was like, fuck you, bro. Whatever, man, you know? So this one CEO, they seen my last name. I was their worker. And she was like, I was like, bro, that's my uncle. They're like, nah, they didn't believe me, you know? And when they found out, they were like, holy shit. Like, I was a janitor for about 18 rooms, 18 people that had their desk in there. I went in there and I cleaned, took out the trash, I swapped, I was a janitor for them. And they were the classification, they were the doctors, you know, they would give me food, they would give me coffee. They were real cool, you know? And they were all drinking Bang. Every day I'll be taking trash out with a bunch of Bang. So they found out and they were really, really cool with me. They're like, what? He's not lying. Holy shit. So the one CEO, she wanted to be a Bang model, you know? Hope she's not listening. And I was like, yeah, I got you. So she would like look the other way and I would get the cigarettes. Mm-hmm. She knew what I was doing, you know what I mean? But she would also pour Bang and let me drink Bang. She was real cool.
How did it feel seeing like your uncle go from sleeping at the supplement store to like what he became?
The whole Florida prison system drinking Bang. I mean, is in where he's at. I mean, it was crazy, honestly.
Did you know it was gonna get that big? Or did people like?
He thought he was crazy. He came in 2011 with his drink. He's like, this is Bang. And I was like,
because I remember it used to be a pre-workout in like a blue bottle.
Yeah, it was. And Ben Affleck, he put it in the movie The Town. If you look in the movie when he's going to the laundromat, he stops right there and you see Bang when it's in a blue bottle with all the supplements because him and they were friends. He gave him free marketing on the movie The Town. It was real cool. But yeah, so it was in a blue bottle and then one day he came and it was in a can and I tasted it and it didn't taste that well, you know? You got to kind of master the flavor, you know, especially when it's like that. It's a new carbonated. He never had nothing carbonated. Mm-hmm. And I was like, could be. I don't know. I wasn't really, we were like, I hope, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
Was he convinced?
Oh, he's convinced, bro.
He was convinced
without
from the beginning.
Without a doubt. You know,
it's going to be the biggest thing.
He almost went bankrupt and he was going to sell the whole company for a couple $1 million. And they just wanted the name Bang. They wanted the drink Bang. And he said, no, listen, you could have it all, but I'm keeping the drink Bang. Otherwise, we have no deal. And they're like, okay, no deal. And he's like, okay, no deal. And he almost went bankrupt just to hold on to that.
He knew
without a doubt it's going to be huge. And, you know, I mean, with the marketing and the Bang models and, and his wife helping out, I mean, it became an overnight sensation. I mean, it was huge, you know, and very proud of him because he worked his ass off to get where he's at. You know, it's hard work.
Till today, like I see him on Instagram.
He's nuts.
And it's like, bro, just go by an island and chill out. And he's on there repping Bang hard, nonstop, over and over.
That's an addict who puts his energy into something positive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
1,000%. He's just obsessed.
Obsessed, addicted, love it, you know, and proud of it. You know, you build something like that and then you're just going to give it up, sell it to someone so they could go ahead and start getting all the credit and the fame. And then he's sitting on an island. Then what? Mm-hmm. Then what? You know what I mean?
So I guess let's talk about like how you were selling the cigarettes in prison. And, you know, when you have that money strapped to you, you got money tied to your legs and stuff, right? Bro, like it's scary because they can search you.
Bro, scary. Listen, in prison, it's scary. They beat your ass, bro. They beat your ass. You stand at attention, make your beds, bro. They have these killers like mentally trained like dogs. They're scared. Make your bed, clean it. They're coming in, inspection. They're terrified. You know, these COs will get up in your face. They'll beat your ass. They'll lock you down. They'll take away your good time. There's corruption in there. I mean, it's like vicious. There's no cameras. They'll beat the fuck out of you. They'll let you get killed by another gang member. They'll send a hit out on you. They'll green light your ass. You know what I mean? Wow. Fucking get them. You know what I'm saying? They'll let you get them. You know what I mean? They do that. They'll let you get them. They let you move to other pods to go get them. They'll just like look the other way. And so you go and kill someone. I mean, It's fucking corruption on another level. And, oh man, I hope I never go back to Mars. They're going to kill me, dog.
What about...
So listen, so let me tell you though. So with the cigarettes, so I strap the money to me. And I'd go and I'd be pretending like I'm sleeping and they'd be like, yo, I got packs. And you know, and for every pack that I would get, you know, I'd drop them the cash. They'd swallow the cash. They'd put the cigarettes somewhere. I'd put them on me. And I'd tell them, listen, I got to go to canteen. I got to go to canteen. You know what I'm saying? I got to go back to my dorm. And be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I was their worker. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, whatever. He wants to go back to his dorm. You know, I got to go use the restroom. I got to go back to the dorm. I got to get something. I go fucking right back to the dorm with 4 packs of cigarettes on me. And every pack that I bring back, I'd make 5 cigarettes. Mm-hmm. They give me 5 out of that pack. 5 cigarettes is $40 in there. Each cigarette is $8.
Wow.
So I'd make sometime anywhere between $40 to $160 a day, You know, just from moving these cigarettes, and they love it. The gang members, they come back, they get 15 cigarettes, and then they'd sell it for whatever, you know, 100, $200. You know what I mean? They're making a lot of money.
And then because you're making it happen,
because I'm making it happen before they didn't fuck with me.
Yeah, no one fucked
They
with
didn't
you.
fuck with me,
Yeah.
bro. You know, I moved right. I brought it. I wasn't scared because listen, the guy told me when he gave me the job, he said, listen, if I catch you, he was a assistant warden. If I catch you doing anything wrong, any kind of slick shit in here, I'm gonna fucking bam your ass. I'm gonna send you to Alaska and I'm gonna make sure you never get out. You know what I mean? And they'll do that. They'll ad charge you, do all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I believe them, you know? But, you know, that the addict in me, you know, wanted to make that money and that adrenaline of doing that, you know what I mean? Of just doing something like that. You know, I was addicted to it. Go get cigarettes. I gotta go, you know? I almost got
On
killed
a
one
daily
time
basis.
because another gang member was trying to get in there to get the cigarettes and I got him. And, you know, when I went back to my pod, like, nah, he's good. You ain't going, they were trying to kill me, you know? Because it was a miscommunication, you know what I'm saying? Who get this pack? Who this pack is for, you know? It's for another gang member. So no, he's good. It's, you know what I'm saying? But they wanted to kill me one time. I almost got killed over that. But when I'm going back one time, I remember them stopping me. And like I had him so good, like in my like fucking briefs, that like he patted me down real quick. Like, why are you going back and forth? They knew what the lick was, you know? He missed it, you know? And I'm, oh, thank God. Went back to my pod. But yeah, if they would have caught me, I was in a lot of trouble, you know? But I mean, it was a rush. I was addicted to it, you know? And yeah, I got a lot of tattoos in there, selling cigarettes. The tattoo artist that was in my compound, he did all my arms, my chest, everything, my leg. He was the best artist on the compound, had gang members, people lined up to get to him. But I got lucky, he was in my pod and he was a killer. 2 life sentences. He's from Hollywood, Florida. Killed 2 people when he was high on coke and buried them. Wow. He was my best friend in there. He was so cool. Such a like, his name is Jay, bro. You never forget him, bro. You know, I was talking to him here and there on JPay when I got out. I mean, he's my boy, man. And you know, I told him, I said, David was a killer. You know, in the Bible, I try and talk to him like God forgave him. You know, you could be forgiven. You know, I try and give him that. And he wasn't having it, bro. He said right when he killed those people, he felt like God turned his face. And just, well, he can't even look up in the sky, you know? He tried to kill himself twice. Being in there, man, a life sentence or any hard time, I mean, that's the roughest thing you could ever do. That is the roughest place. I mean, I've been in the worst hoods. I've slept outside. I've been through all kinds of shit. Bro, fucking prison, Martin's prison, Florida prison, bro, is horrible. Especially, I don't know. The other prisons, I bet, you know, I heard they're kind of, but I know Martin, bro, is the most vicious one, you know? No AC in there.
Yeah,
you're sweating.
that's crazy, bro. How is that possible in Florida,
you take a shower, bro. You get out and you're sweating again.
How many showers they give you? You just take a shower?
I mean, you could kind of take
whenever.
like three a day if you want. There's no point. You go at least do 1 or 2. You know what I mean? But you shower and you're sweating again. I mean, it's like, okay, I'm showering, I'm sweat again. You know, I mean, it's just like. We would make bags and we would tie them up to the window and towels so we could get wind, you know, just to get a little bit of, but I mean, you're sweating, you're laying there. We never laid in our blankets. The bed stays made. You're laying on the bed and you're sweating.
Wow.
You know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll never forget. 3 o'clock is the hottest time of the day in Florida. I mean, 3 p.m., bro, I'm just sweating. We're all laying there in our briefs on our bed, just sweating, just like hating life, just sweating. You know, it's just like, oh my God, bro. It's just, you know, and the things I've seen in there too.
It's
you
crazy
know?
the COs are cool with that too. I couldn't imagine working inside with no AC.
They have their bubbles where there's AC. They're in their AC where there's bubble.
And that's it.
That's it, man. It's just they just make it like that. And it's just, they'll turn off the TV. They'll treat you like this. They treat you like a straight animal, you know, lock it down. You know, I mean, these guys like, life sentences, grown men, you know, killers, and they're scared. They're like, no, we're gonna get the TV shut off. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like, shut up, bro. You're such a fucking hardcore gangster. You know, you're scared. They're gonna, you know, but they train you that way. They treat you like an animal, and these guys are trained like dogs. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, you got to make your bed, food, you know, it's like, you're not going to feed. You're not in canteen today. Oh my God, no canteen, you know, we're not going to eat, you know, like they just threaten you with this and that. I mean, it's just wild, man. Smoking cigarettes out of Bible paper. Listen, this is how you light a cigarette. You would take on the negative side, you would cut, like to peel it off a little bit. You get a piece of Brillo. On the negative side, you would put it on the negative, and then where you peeled the battery on the side, you would put the Brillo on that side, and a spark happens.
That's how you would light a cigarette?
That's how we light cigarettes
time?
every time, bro. Fingers burnt. Our thumbs
with
are
batteries?
always burnt. Yes, with batteries.
Every time?
Every time, though.
Wow. Yeah, because there's no lighters in there.
No lighters.
In other prisons there are, right?
I don't know. Not our prison. No,
Wow.
not Florida prison. No.
Wow.
I mean, and then Yeah, and then we would light it with the Bible paper. We'd pass it. We'd take 2 hits, pass it. You know what I'm saying? And it would go out. We get a little buzz. You know, with yeah, it was. And you should see the tattoo guns they make. I mean, the tattoo guns with the CD player and the battery and the I mean, the nail filer with a rubber band around it and the headphones. They would cut the headphones and put it on there so it's a you hear it just like gas up. With a pen, you take the pen out, you sharpen the needle in the pen, you would sharpen that, you put it in, you cut this, you do that, so you take a razor blade, you do that. I mean, it's just, man, it's just wild in there. It's wild, man. It's very, very bad place. But yeah, I was angry at God, you know, when I was in there. I was smoking Bible paper. I was, why God, fuck you, you know, it's just an evil world. I just didn't care. I was mad. Why? You know, I'm never going to get clean. Why, God? Why did you have to make me like this? Why did I have to be an addict? Why? Why can't I be a normal person, man? I'd cry and beg him and please, like, what's wrong with you? Why? Why me? You know what I mean? Why? And I guess it's because I have a purpose, you know, to help other people like you do, Brian, you know, and give back and do his will by taking care of people that, you know, are sick and that need help, you know?
So tell me about getting out and what it was like. Cause I remember when you got out, you know, I specifically remember like as soon as you got out.
Yeah, when I got out, man, back in the halfway house, you know, and I'm just like, it was a little different, you know, coming in there, you know, like I literally can't have anyone sit behind me. Like I've seen a lot of stabbings. Like I told you about a few. I've seen a lot. Like I can't have someone stand behind me. Like when I go out to eat, like I have to be back up against the wall. Like someone walks behind me, like I look back, I can't. Like I'm in the gym working out. Even now, people walk near me or they get too close to me. Like I kind of like, well, hold up. You know what I mean? It's just too like, I don't know. It's just a natural thing now. It was never like that before. And so when I got out, I mean, I was in a halfway convicted felon, couldn't get a job, you know, girl. Back in a halfway, what am I going to do now? You know, and trying to adapt.
And then you don't want to violate it, go back.
They don't want to violate it, go back. I'm just like, what the fuck, you know? And I ended up, but when you get high, you know, you don't really think like that, you know?
Consequences are just whatever.
Yeah, it's just whatever, bro. It's just, you just want to get high. So I started one day, a roommate came home with some Adderall and I was having a bad day, couldn't get a job. And sure enough, started eating Adderall. Next thing you know, I'm smoking meth. I'm snorting heroin. I'm just all kinds of crazy shit. I'm on the street. I'm out of control. I'm sleeping outside of buildings, trying to get clean and get back into halfway.
And probation at this time?
Sober. No, first time in my life in the last 12 years. No probation, no house arrest, no community control, no drug court, no nothing, no parole. You know, so I was scot-free, but I mean, I can't get in trouble. You go back, they send you right back to prison.
Yeah, once you get prison time.
You go right back every time. Any little thing. I mean, not any little. I mean, it could be something little. You may not go back, but I mean, you catch something, your majority, you get points, it's called. You go right back to prison, and I'm sure they'll send me right back to Martin. But, you know, God willing, you know, that will never happen. Yeah, I ended up getting high and just going on a vicious run. And next thing you know, like it was New Year's Eve, and you know, I was smoking crack and meth, looking in a hotel room, looking at myself in the mirror. So I don't know how I was in this hotel, you know, I don't know where I was at. I'm looking in the mirror and the ball's dropping. 5, 4, 3. Everyone, you know, I'm just taking a blast, just looking at myself. You know, I'm just like, bro, I can't live like this no more, bro. I gotta stop. I need help. I can't. I'm over this, you know. The holidays were always bad for me. It was always a tough time, you know. Or never being around, being on the street, being in jail, rehabs, never around. I didn't like the holidays. So yeah, I'm called. My father my father picked up, and you know, usually my family for a long time they weren't around. You know, like 6, 7 years. They just kind of. My mom wrote me off as dead. You know, like, bro, this guy is never gonna get it. Like, they just have to distance themselves. And you know, my sister, she'd always kind of let me in the house. One time she called the cops on me.
Your older sister?
Older, Allie, yeah.
Allie?
She called the cops on me one time. I was on Flocka. Oh, yeah, talk about Flocka. I was on Flocka heavy. I was on Flocka and heroin, and I was nodding out. I guess she told me I was running around the house naked one time. You know, she let me in. She said I was talking to myself, talking to people. And one time she was scared, and I was nodding out at the front door. And she called the cops. Next thing you know, the BSO is hitting the corner on me. Hey, freeze. And I'm like, I live here. You know, please, like, let me go. She's, no, that's my brother. That's my brother. I said, it's fine. Just let me in.
January 1st, New Year's.
January 1st, man, New Year's. I get a little ride to Bark Detox. Bro, I walked. I'm smoking crack and meth in the dumpster. I'm walking around bark detox in circles for hours. Like the lady's like, listen, when I first kind of like she's like, we have beds still. We have beds, you know? I'm like, oh my God, they have beds.
Never happened.
Never happens.
Never.
Never happens. We have beds. I'm like, oh shit, they have beds. But I couldn't go in. I walked getting high for like 6 hours. Now I'm out of drugs and I'm still pacing around bark. I swear, probably for a good 6 hours from like maybe 5 a.m. when she told me she had a bed till like maybe 1 in the afternoon. I'm still walking around. I'm stepping in, I'm stepping out. I'm stepping in and stepping out. And I talked to my buddy and he's like, Ryan, he's like, bro, just go get some rest. Go in. And I was like, that's the smartest thing I ever heard. Holy shit, why didn't I think of that? And I walk right in. And it's crazy, walking right in. And I had a bed and I had everything in my system, from Xanax to heroin to crack. I mean, everything. Everything in my system, alcohol. I mean, I was a wreck, bro. I was talking to myself. I was in there talking to myself. I remember.
How old were you at this point?
I don't know. I'm coming up on 2 years. I'm coming up on 2 years clean. I'm 33, so 31.
31. Yeah.
31, yeah. So I get there, I get into treatment, once again, missing like my 7th, 8th, 9th time in bark detox, I get in there and I see you again.
I know, I
Ryan,
saw you in there.
It's you again.
I remember I was like,
It's you.
bro, everywhere I go, I just keep running into Ryan. And I remember your sister would hit me up. Can you help Ryan? Da 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 da. He listens to you. And I'm like, he really doesn't. You know what I mean? I was like, bro, I see Ryan a couple times a year, Yeah. And I remember you had gotten out of prison. And I think you had asked me to sponsor you right when you got out. And you were still like tattoos and shoes and girls. And like, that was just like your priority, And I was just like, bro, like, again. Like, you're going to go back. I remember telling you, like, bro, you're going to go back to prison, bro. And you were just like, I don't know. And I remember, like we talked in there. I remember I was leaving and you weren't even in the meeting. You were like, heard.
Detoxing.
Yeah, you like heard that I was there. And you like ran out in the hallway. And I remember just looking at you. And you're like, bro, they need me. They're saying I should go back to treatment. And I was like, yeah, bro, you should go back to treatment. You're like, bro, you really think I need to go to treatment? I was like, yeah, bro. You're like, but I've been to treatment so many times. And I was just like, bro, I really think you should. And I remember you were just looking at me like I was crazy.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember asking you. Because I take your advice very seriously. Like, I don't, listen, any speaker that comes there, whatever, bro, they'll tell me to do something. But when you come there, I'm like, bro, Brian, I need to talk to Brian, bro. I'll fight to get to you. You know what I'm saying? Just to get a couple words with you. I'll follow you out the door. You're like, Ryan, I gotta go. I'm like, no, Brian, come on. Just talk to me a little more, please. Tell me what to do. And you would tell me, yeah, I can go to treatment.
I remember you were in the detox clothes, and the ones they give you. And I just remember telling you, like, bro, go to treatment.
And I did.
Mm-hmm. I saw you there.
You saw me there. I'm like, Brian, I made it.
I was like, bro, I'll be there. I'm there every other week. I've been doing that commitment for a long time. And I remember I seen you in there. And so I guess, like, let's just go on with the story.
Yeah.
What happens after that?
So I'm in treatment. And once again, I'm like the girl, the self-esteem. I meet a girl. She's looking at me.
Writing the notes.
Playing her hair. Writing the notes every day.
You're
writing the notes.
crazy,
She's sticking
bro.
them under. I couldn't help it. I'm throwing notes to her. I just was like infatuated. You're going to get kicked out. I just didn't care. But this time, I could get kicked out because I'm not court ordered for once. I mean, it's like my 5th time at IRT and I'm not court ordered,
You gotta write the notes to the girl.
Now it's game on, bro. I'm choking her in the laundry room, you know what I mean? I'm making out with her in the hallways, breaking all kinds of rules, Sure enough, she leaves, I leave early. And, they say, oh, if you leave, you're not going to stay clean. And, I mean, I guess they were wrong, but you have a better fighting chance. Obviously, you stay in treatment. The longer you stay, the better the odds are, So I got out. I just jumped into because I've been there, a lot of times. I jumped out and started going to the meetings. Was in a halfway, and just got a job right away. I got out with nothing. When I got out, my family didn't no help. They were like, my sister's like, you need to go to Salvation Army. I remember one time I pump fake her. She's like, you're gonna go see Lee at Salvation Army. You know what I mean? He's gonna be waiting for you. I get there, she drops me off. Hey, love you. I take off right when she leaves. And I was like, I ain't going to Salvation. 6 months? No way, 6 months. So which would have probably been good, but anyways, so I went down the other road with Bark and RT, When I got out, she's like, you need to go back to Salvation Army. And my father, I ain't helping you. You ain't helping. I said, 1 week, halfway house rent. Come on, just 1 week. Put me up. Give me a fighting chance. Nah, 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 nah. You're on your own, bro. You're on your own. I ain't helping you. And then family, no one helping me, you know? I stayed on my buddy's floor, slept on his floor, got a job, got into a halfway. I started just focusing on me and kind of like hanging out with the winners, you know? Like they said to do, you know, everything they said to do, you know, hang out with the winners, go to meetings, get a sponsor, work steps. Just, you know, do what they say, you know, and you won't fail. You won't fail, you know. You follow our process. We've never seen a person fail. It's clear, you know, it's clear as day. But for some reason, you know, I fought back. I fought it Ryan's way. Oh no, the girls, the tattoo, this, that, whatever. They're selling drugs, selling my prescriptions, doing this, doing that. And, you know, finally I just gave up. I gave in and I said, listen, I'm just going to give it a try. What do I have to lose? You know, I could always go back. Like they say, what do you have to lose? You could always go back and get high. You could always, the drugs will always be there. Give it a chance. Like, Ryan, give it a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was tired, bro. I was tired, man. I was like, at this last time, like, too, like, a little bit before my father brought me in, I went to detox. I was like literally about to kill myself. I told my mom, like I was crying. Like, I wanted to kill myself. Like, I was telling my mother, I love you. I'm sorry. I didn't make it. I couldn't do it. Told my sister, couldn't do it. It's over. Like, and I really meant it. Like, I was ready to hang it up. And they cried and they said, Ryan, you're a fighter. You're a soldier. You've come on. You're a fighter. Come on. You got this. Give it one more chance for us. One more chance. Fine. So I was really ready to hang it up, you know? And, you know, gave it that chance, went in there and just started doing what I had to do, you know, going to meetings, getting a sponsor, working steps, you know, working. You know, Uncle gave me a job. It gave me an opportunity again.
When did you start working with him again?
Started at the bottom, you know. He said, listen, I said, oh, come on, man. I said, give me a chance, you know, one more time, just one more time, you know. You know, because at the time, like I had a tattoo shop, you know, I had money saved up. I was going to buy a car. I wasn't living 100%. Got some money and I was going to buy a car, bought it in the tattoo shop. So I was doing good, had a little thing going. He seen I was doing good. And I said, oh, give me a chance, part-time, you know, like I got a lot of free time, you know. And he's like, all right, you could go with the girls and be a sampler and pass out bangs and stuff. I said, no, you know, I'm there. I appreciate it. Thank you. I won't. He goes, don't let me down. Don't let me down again. This is after like 8 years of me asking him for a job and stuff in the past, you know. Sure enough, you know, I started doing that. Now I'm a manager for them, you know. I get to travel, you know, I'm at peace. 2 years clean. In 2 weeks, I'll have 2 years clean.
Nice.
It's crazy, man. I can never get 6 months. That blue key tag, man, I would be like, how? How is it possible? You know, I see people get it and I just be like, no way, I want it so bad. I would do anything for that blue key tag, you know, 6 months, are you crazy? You know what I mean? That's impossible because I've always get 30, 60, 90 days and go relapse, you know? I'm like, how is this possible, bro? You know, and then I got the blue and I was like, oh my God, I got the blue. And then I got the fucking yellow and then I got the year. And I was like, oh my God, I have a fucking year. How's this possible? And then 18 months and now I'm gonna have multiple years.
2
bro,
years.
Come on, bro. This is mind blowing, bro. You know, and God, you know, I got to give it to God. Like, listen, honestly, if it wasn't for God, like having so much mercy on me, you know, I wouldn't be here.
When did you start rekindling your relationship with higher power?
It took a while. When I got out of prison, it took a while. Like even now, like I'm practicing it. It used to be really strong, my faith, but I'm practicing every day. I'll thank him, you know, I'll thank him for another day. I'll ask him, you know, let me do your will. Show me what you need me to do, you know, and most importantly, just thank him. Just thank you. Thank you for another day. Thank you for allowing me to have money in my pocket, you know, car, my own place, you know, employment, peace of mind, you know, I'm able to help others. I have sponsees now. Like my sponsee just called me. I'm giving him advice. You know, it's like crazy, you know, it's crazy. I'm giving other people advice. I'm speaking at meetings. I'm like, what the heck? How did this, me? Like, how am I able to now be of service to others? You know, it's just crazy. I would never see myself. I'd see people speak at meetings. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to speak. But I even had like a speech ready for my blue key tag. I was like planning a speech, you know, like how I did it, you know. You know,
how instrumental was it, like working the steps? Because I remember when I started sponsoring again, like I could see that there was like a level of willingness that I don't see in a lot of my other sponsees. Because like when you were like, yo, I'll do anything, you really were able, you know, still are like willing to do like whatever. You know, I could call you tomorrow and be like, yo, I need you to walk to Georgia. You're like, all right,
Bro,
cool.
if you need me
know,
to walk down the street naked right now, I swear I will.
I
Because
believe it.
it's life or death for me, you know? And I know, like, taking heed of what you say, I latch on to you, you know, because my life depends on it. You know what I mean? And the steps is where you tell me, and others have told me, the miracles happen and the
And I
recovery
remember
is.
you started doing them, bro. I was like, yo, you got to do your first step. You got to read this. You got to underline that. You got to define these. And
Call these people. Yeah.
I think like a week later, you were like, yo, I'm done.
Did it.
Step 2, I given you, you're done. We're going over it, you know?
Did it.
And
yeah. The whole Corona, the whole time. I mean, I took advantage, you know, and like I said, life or death, you know, and I want to have these miracles. And, you know, so yeah, I'm on step 7 now. It's crazy. But I can never get past step 4. You know what I mean? I was just like, step 4, oh my God. You know, and then like step 4, I step 1, 2, 3, all these writing you had me do. I mean, I have a whole book of like 50, 60 pages of just fully written of,
awesome.
And it's great. And it's changing me. And I see what they talk about, you know, you get to see the awareness and you get to see like where you were wrong and what you've done. And you kind of get to realize like who you are. Kind of how messed up you are, you know?
Absolutely. And I always tell people like doing the steps are the biggest amends you can make to yourself. You know, like this is what you need. You know, it's not about like it's gonna help others, and like it will when you get to step 12. But this is like, you know, when people get clean, they want to make up for lost time, and they make it up with the cars and the tattoos and the girls, and that's their mentality of making up for lost time. But you don't even know who you are, you know? It's like, bro, you're missing the big point. Like, no, you don't even know who Ryan is. How are you going to go buy a Gucci belt? You don't even know who the fuck you are. Not to say that you can't buy material things and material things are bad, but there needs to be a priority with the spirit. There needs to be a priority with how you organize your brain, because when we got blame over here, we got victimization over here, we're mad at this person, we got resentments all over the place. Our whole life is fucking a big fucking disorganized mess. And that's in your head. So you wonder why you don't have peace. You wonder why you have anxiety. You wonder why you're depressed, why you can't sleep at night, while you still feel suicidal with 6 months clean, you know, and the girls ain't helping and the money ain't helping and all this outside shit ain't helping. And when you do the steps, you get to organize, yo, this is your 4th step. This is shit that you were not responsible for. This is shit you are responsible for. And this is shit we're going to start taking accountability for. And then you do your 5th step and you do your 6th step and you start to see your character defects that rob you of your joy, rob you of your peace. You know, these are things that are stealing from you. Your character defects are hurting you, destroying you, you know, and we get to amend those situations and you focus on your assets in step 7 and so on. And if you don't do that, there's no point in staying clean. Why would you even be clean if you don't do that? Because you're just missing out on the whole purpose of this, you know, and I've been able to see that happen with you. And I know sometimes like you probably think I'm crazy, you know, like, oh, bro, it ain't really like that, you know, but like you're living proof of it, bro. You got 2 years clean. It's not through abstinence, bro. You know, I always tell people like recovery is not abstinence. It's not about not using. This is not a drug program. This is about profound change in your attitude, perspectives, and behaviors. And we change those by working the steps through reading and writing. Reading and writing and sharing with another addict and having you develop your own personal relationship with a higher power.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool, man. Remember doing my 4th step with you. That
was cool.
That was really cool.
And a lot of times people get me to sponsor them and they think we're going to be friends.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're going to hang out and all this stuff. Honestly, I didn't start hanging out with you until you started doing step work.
Yeah.
Like, bro, we ain't hanging out. You don't even do your step work.
Yeah.
Because if you want to get close to me, we're going to get close to the steps. You want to know your sponsor, you want to have a relationship with your sponsor, do a 4th and 5th step with your sponsor. You guys are going to get tight, you know? And
it's crazy too. Like, listen, you're very similar to me too. You are like,
I'm crazy.
You're crazier. like, you know, oh yeah, you got clean yourself. Bro, you are an addict to the core. You know what I'm saying? Like you have those behaviors just like me, like very, very similar. Like
I'm very sick.
Oh my God. Yeah. Bro, it's like, I could talk to you and you're like, you understand what I'm saying, you know what I mean? And you give me advice back and I'm like, wow, you know, like.
Because a lot of times you see people that are clean and you think like they don't struggle like you. They're not as sick as you. Right. It was easy for them. Right. You know, you see someone get clean at 17,
Right.
you're like, oh, well, he
Right.
probably, you know, didn't really have. He's not
didn't have that hard.
crazy.
Oh, he didn't get it, bro. Brian, you are sick.
I appreciate
addict.
that.
Yeah, bro.
Thank you.
Like it's crazy. Like we could talk. Like I vouch for that. Like I'm fucked up, and I'm an addict to the core, and you are an addict to the core. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
So it's cool, you know, to be able to relate to you on a lot of different levels.
And
you
bro,
know?
there's a way that the steps turn all that fucking sick obsessive compulsion into something positive and beautiful, and you can use it to help others. And it doesn't mean you're gonna walk around like a Mormon. You ain't gonna be a nun. Like, you could be who you are today, but you could be your authentic self without hurting yourself. You know, you could be who you really are without it being like a negative, vicious cycle. Because what sucks the worst about addiction is the cycle of it. It's not like, oh, we fucked up and we're looking in the mirror, fucked up on crack again. It's like again and again and again. Like, the cycle is what makes it so miserable. It's Groundhog Day. How did I fuck up another Christmas? How did I fuck up another New Year's? Again.
How did I get here?
Again.
Yeah, just use
over
one,
and
just
over
one,
and
just
over
one,
and
right?
over.
Yeah,
Started
just
with
one.
Adderall. Now I'm here again.
Yeah, just one Adderall, just a half Adderall. I mean, come on, just bro, just a sip of beer. Come on, just a little hit of a joint. Don't hurt nobody. You know what I mean? They used to say, like, I used to say, oh, come on, bro, my father can do it. My people in the neighborhood I grew up can do it. They used to tell me, like, how are you gonna let this, Ryan? How are you gonna let this little blue pill control your life? It's not even. It doesn't even exist. It's not even real. It's not have any life in it. It's gonna let you control your life. This little thing. What's wrong with you, man? Be a soldier. Be strong. You know.
Like, it was about being strong.
Be about being strong. What are you, weak-minded, son? You know. And I'm like, damn. Maybe I always grew up with that competitive, strong mentality. To be
Surrender
a man.
is not in your blood,
Being
bro.
tough, yeah. Surrender, bro. Nah, bro. I'm gonna try it this way, and I'm gonna figure it out. You know, I'm gonna be able to do just one. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be able to be like the people I look up to in my life.
There's an
And
easier, softer way.
Yeah, every time it felt. I mean, when I tell you 1,000 times I've tried it a different way, you know, it didn't work out. You know, and they said just surrender, and I'm like, oh, that's giving up. I'm not a quitter. I'm not gonna surrender. And I'm like, bro, but it's surrendering is. They say surrendering is winning. When you surrender, you win. You're winning. You're winning. You know what I mean? And bro, it's truth. I've been winning, bro. These past 2 years, I'm winning, Brian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate you being in my life and supporting me and always picking up my calls, always taking me through the steps, being there for me, giving me great advice. If it wasn't for you, honestly, I don't even think I'd be here right now.
Appreciate that. Thank
Seriously, you know, I love you.
I love you very much, bro. I think we're pretty much wrapped up. Just want to say, you know, it's been amazing to watch you stay clean. Out of anything I do, bro, like work, whatever, cars, like all this outside bullshit, like, I tell people all the time, like, I've sponsored hundreds of people. I've probably taken a couple through the steps. Probably only taking 4 people through the steps out of hundreds.
I'm almost there.
You're almost there, bro. And like, you know, I hope to God that like you make it to that 12 step. And, you know, I remember like I completed my 12 steps when I was 19. I was a kid, maybe 18, the end of 18, you know, and it changed my life. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are or what you've been through, like the steps work. So love you, bro.
I love you too. Thanks for
Appreciate
having me.
it. This show is not affiliated with any specific 12-step program. If you or a loved one is struggling with an addiction, please find a local 12-step meeting. If you believe you may need detox or drug treatment of any kind, please call 888-699-9395 to speak to a specialist. This show is sponsored by United Recovery Project, a state-of-the-art drug and alcohol rehab facility. You can visit our website at unitedrecoveryproject.com.